Hi, friends. All for art and art for all. We're going to do these buildings which are placed on a horizon line. So it's a perspective looking up. So I'll start with my horizon line. And then I'm going to do the first little section here. So I'm going to go up and up on two sides evenly. And then in the middle, I'm going to go up a little higher for the center. And I'll go ahead and connect that. Let's see, I think it's a little steep, so I don't want it to be too pointy. I want the tilt to be gentle. So a gentle tilt and a gentle tilt. And then I'm going to nest another 1, 2, 3 levels on that. So I can just go up as tall as I want to make my building. And then I can choose where my next level is going to be. Maybe it's right here. And I will have it be parallel. The line I make will be parallel. So I'll estimate how far over to go. And going that same direction, I'll meet into my center line and come straight down. And same thing over here, parallel and come straight down. And then I'm going to put a shorter level. So another way you can do it is go straight up and straight up as high as you want this next level, and then make it parallel to the floor below it. And then in this case, I chose to have kind of a tower on top. So I'm going to come up the side and up the side, and then parallel, and see if I don't go quite up far enough, I just fix that and go up there. But it's important that all of these lines are going the same direction. Okay, and then I am choosing to put kind of a stripe on each floor. Maybe it's some trim work that's on the building. So I'm putting a parallel line, and maybe I make it stick out a little bit. It can stick out a little bit to give it a little bit extra dimension or shape. And then on one side, I'm going to do shading. So in my example, my shading, was parallel to the line I'm working with, but you can also do a diagonal line. So I guess I'm just going to do a diagonal line. On the side. Some diagonal lines. That show this side of the building is darker, and I won't put as many details over here. Now I also want this stripe to have some shading too, so I'm just going to go ahead and give it some shading. So I'm showing that it's just not getting as much light, but it's still kind of there. And then I had doors, so it was a nice wide opening, but the top of my doors are still going to be parallel because I'm looking up at my building. Top of my doors are still like that. And maybe I put door handles, maybe I don't. Maybe it's a fancy automatic door, who knows? You could have a rounded door, you could have a lot of fun with that. And then I just indicated some windows with some little dashes. Okay, and then my building, I'm going to do another one, and this one's going to overlap it. So I needed to decide where it starts. So I'm going to have it come up. I'm going to put it a little closer. I'm going to have it come up from the side here. So it's not going to be as tall. So I'm going to come up, and I'm going to use the same angle that I've been using to go over. And then I'll come straight down. And then however wide that building is, it could be really wide, it could be narrower. Let's just go for something that's kind of even. So maybe right there. Well, that's going to make a lot of shading. So I'm going to come straight down and to widen out my horizon line. And maybe this one's got some taller windows. And maybe it's got some trim work too, parallel sticking out. That's kind of fashionable right now. And then if you wanted to make your windows be a little more square, say this building's bigger, the top of my windows will be parallel, and then come straight down, straight down, straight down, straight down, straight down. And the bottom is going to have that same uphill contour. So maybe I put another level of trim. This guy's a little different than the example. And down here, maybe I just outline that area. And maybe I put in some detail. Okay, and then this side's going to be shaded in a similar way with cross, well, I guess they're not crossing, with some hatching. You can shade one side all black if you want. Instead of the hatching, you had a gray marker, you could shade that way. I'm going to go ahead and just darken that up, but still keep that detail. All right. And then I chose to kind of put a little tower on top. So I'm going to put a contour line that's rounded on top and go straight down. And then that's maybe some kind of decorative thing that's on top. Maybe I'll add a little extra detail there. Make the sides of the arc on top. So this has got some decoration on top of the building. This one, I want to make it a little grander and taller. So I'm going to go straight up, and go around. And I'm going to shade one side of that. And I'm going to put straight up my flag. And I'm going to go out, back in, out, straight down, straight down, straight down, over, till I hit the flag. And here's where I bent. And now I can come up, and I made my flag be kind of a triangular flag. And I added some thickness to my pole. So there you go. There are buildings that are just based on the same shape we used when we were doing kind of stacked cakes. You can do all kinds of buildings. You can add thickness to one side of your windows. Maybe this drawing is not quite, yeah, maybe this drawing. That's a little trick you can do, is you can add some thickness to your windows on one side if they're big enough. These aren't quite big enough. But there you go. All for art and art for buildings.